Hey there, internet. I wanted to talk about uh, my previous relationship with Kratom and also with 7.0, which I think is actually an important differentiation to make. Um, and how I was kind of like tricked by those products and made aware by them by a YouTuber that is a cool guy and has had a bunch of influence on why I'm doing this now, uh, and that I should have listened to him, but I didn't because I thought I was fucking smarter. Um, because he's some fucking drug addict too. I didn't think like this guy knows it all. I've been really into the science behind my entire poly addiction the entire time. And so I thought I knew more. I thought I knew better. And that was how I heard about it, is through this guy Goblin on YouTube. I think he's hit a mill now. Um, who has he's done lots of cool shit. He has podcasts and tons of stories like mine. Honestly, they're not as crazy as mine are. Um, like, detailing his life and shit. But, so first off, I want to say that I was very prone to becoming addicted. I was very prone to becoming addicted to Kratom. I remember thinking before I ever became 18, like, oh, I can't wait to be able to buy this shit. And once I found smoke shops that'll sell to some fucking kid or whatever, I was already buying it before I was even 18. Um, there was this place that I could go to and buy like normal Kratom. And that was the start of this addiction, but the way that I used Kratom was very different to the way that I used 7.0. Actually, it really wasn't, but I wasn't using Kratom as like a sleep helper, really. I was just taking it mostly during the day and at night, but I would do a bunch of other shit too when I was just doing Kratom to be able to sleep, because it really wouldn't help me sleep that much. I would take the Mao Zedong or whatever, Mao Zedong strain of Kratom, because it was like dominant in the opioid side. And I remember getting so addicted to that, and I was, in denial of it or whatever, because I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Like, I would be spending my last dollar on getting a fresh bag of like 50 pills or whatever that were all half gram Kratom pills, and I would like smell the bag and the smell of the Kratom. It was like getting like a fresh bag of Coke for a Coke addict. It would be like, oh, thank God I have this, like it would be like, oh, thank goodness, like I'm safe, sort of feeling, like, really. And this was before 7.0 ever became a thing, and I kind of beat that addiction, Kratom, on its own, just by stopping and using more kava and shit like that, or using other drugs, really. Kratom became uninteresting when it was just like the version of itself that is just Kratom to me. And so 7.0 comes out when I'm like 18 and a half, and I kind of avoided it when I was in college, didn't really care. It wasn't really at the smoke shops I could go to, so whatever, I didn't care. Like, fuck this 7.0 shit, But when I got back to California after college, I started taking more 7.0 I remember the first time I tried it, I just went to some smoke shop. We were trying to get some joint papers or something, or some cigarettes or something. And I asked the guy, like, hey, do you have 7-O? Like, and he was like, yes, 7-O over here, sir. You know? And I bought it, and I was immediately hooked. Like, and I thought, like, oh, this is kind of like codeine. I can like function during the day and just take this and like I'll work way better. And the reality was, like, I was at first more responsible and like locked in than I was before I started taking 7-O. Like, I just started a job doing window cleaning, and I just started doing some shit, and I was taking 7-O like on the job, on the site, whatever, and I was doing really good. I remember one time I just threw up because I had taken too much at one point, or it was just a really hot day and it got to me or something like along those lines. Uh, I was like, I, I was productive, and then it got really bad, and I started getting more money from my new job that I was doing, because at the time I had just been doing DoorDash, like what I am now, uh, basically. And so I was getting a lot of cash at once, and I would go spend like half of it. Like, I get like $600, I'm gonna go spend 300 of it on 7-O, and that started the like addiction and like real dependency on it, because I just started taking all day every day and a bunch at night, and the withdrawal was really bad, really bad. I was on heroin for like a month or something. I was also on Xanax, so I don't remember how long I was on it, but I was on it for like a month or something. And I got Suboxone, or not Suboxone, Subutex, when I got off of heroin. But I don't remember the withdrawal being as bad as 7-O. Now, I had been addicted to 7-O for many months, and I think that's why. Like, if I had been on heroin for as long as I had been on 7-O, like, I'm sure it would have been harder to get off of or whatever. But the withdrawal from 7-O was the second hardest withdrawal I've ever dealt with. The hardest was Xanax. Every single time I've done Xanax withdrawal, it was the hardest thing I've ever done. 7-O withdrawal like really sucks. It makes the air feel like really humid and uncomfortable, even if it's not. It'll be like, I remember waking up, and I was living out of my car for a lot of this 7-O addiction I had. And I'd wake up and it'd be like 65 degrees outside, nice cool air, maybe a breeze, and I'm like sitting there like the air like feels like so thick that it doesn't even feel right to breathe, and like it's making me nauseous. Like, I would be like, I'm not getting enough oxygen, like throw up all over the place. I stayed in this Walmart parking lot for like a lot of months in Anderson, California, and I would just throw up out onto the pavement out of my car there all the time, and that parking spot was just like surrounded in throw up, because I'd be either throwing up from taking too much 7-O or throwing up from withdrawal. I have palsies, and it was making my palsies like way worse when I was in withdrawal. I couldn't sleep. I'm still like struggling a lot with that right now. I still take Benadryl or a bunch of edibles or Unisom at night to be able to sleep, and I haven't found a solution for that. I can go do a 10-mile hike with 1,100, 1,200 feet of elevation climb, and like didn't get good sleep the night before, exercised my fucking ass off. And this is something I actually did, and I still couldn't sleep the coming night. Like I had done literally everything, like low light, no blue light, like wind yourself down, take a shower. Like I had done literally everything, and I still can't sleep. And that's still a problem I have, and it's still a problem that I accumulated mostly from 7-OH. Something else I want to point out is that I've been an opioid addict to like lots of other opioids, especially Dilaudid, especially codeine, especially heroin, especially opium. I would say that every opioid I did per milligram wasn't stronger. Like Dilaudid and 7-O were like maybe right on the same level. Like 10 milligrams of Dilaudid is very similar to 10 milligrams of 7-O. But holy shit, dude. They're both so strong. They're like both like, it's on the same level. And the only things that are stronger than that are fentanyl and heroin. All of oxys, codeine, fucking perks, Vikes, whatever opioid you want to name, Norcos, Hydros, whatever, is not stronger than 7-O is. Like 7-O is stronger than all of those. And so like it's disguised as this thing, and people realize that it's an opioid, but they don't realize how fucked up it really is. Like you may as well be shooting Dilaudid if you're a 7-O addict. And like I'm not saying that you should go shoot Dilaudid and do that. It probably won't even provide that great of a high. Like like I'm saying, like that's how fucked up this shit is. That's how strong it is. That's how like I'm not an opioid type of guy, really. I was always more of a benzo guy, but I got super hooked on 7-O for like a year and a half, where the longest period I was on it was for like 8 months, and I couldn't deal with the withdrawal, and I was taking it every single day. I went to vacations or like shit with my dad in Oregon, where I was on it the whole time, and like he didn't understand what was going on at all because I was just flipping out. 7-O can be really, really bad. And like the marketing and production for it used to be, when I got into it, was very like health oriented. Like people and companies that were selling it were like involved in the health industry, and so I thought like this can't be that bad, like I bought something. The first time I bought 7-O, it was like advertised as this healthy like pain reduction product. Like it was like cat's breath or whatever the fuck that shit is called, like it was kava or something. Like, oh, this can be beneficial for you. It's not. And I can't see it benefiting anyone unless they're addicted to fentanyl and looking for something that's almost as cheap that will allow them to like function throughout the day, because you can like still sort of function, and you obviously can't when you're on fentanyl. But like other than that, there's no reason that 7-O should exist for anybody. And luckily it's getting banned throughout California right now, so there's a lot less of an incentive for me to go and buy it. But it's still around. And it was my second worst addiction I've ever had, and I've been addicted to fucking everything under the sun, other than fentanyl and meth. So, like, that should show you guys, like, how important it is to avoid this. I see 7-OH, like if I have a 10 milligram oxy pill or a 10 milligram 7-O pill, I see it as worse to take the 7-O pill than I do the oxy. Obviously, both of it is terrible and you shouldn't do either of them, but that's how an experienced poly addict recognizes this product that disguises itself as healthy, as beneficial, when in reality it doesn't do any of those things. And the opioid anagnostic or whatever it is just as strong as all of these actual opioids, even though it's synthetic. Fentanyl is also a synthetic opioid, so I've heard that argument from people that are on 7-O and like prefer and like are on the side of like it should be legal and shit. I've heard like, yeah, like it can benefit you. It's not. I forgot the point I was making there, but my point being like there's no real benefit to it unless you're in a bunch of pain and like only plan on taking it for a day or two. Like if you really want something for pain management, I would recommend cannabis or like actual kratom, because kratom has so many different alkaloids that overwhelm your brain and liver and stomach that if you take too much, you'll throw up way before you can get really fucked up on it. And so like, and it also gives you energy as opposed to just draining you of energy. For me, it didn't feel like it drained my energy, but everybody's different. At night I would nod off of it, and obviously I would feel drained of energy then, but during the day I could function, and that's part of what made it more dangerous. Like I was never the type of addict that just wanted to be dead all day and do nothing. I wanted to accomplish shit, and I was able to do that on 7-O. I was able to do that on Xanax, and that's why they were more dangerous for me than heroin or cocaine or something like that. Anyways, if you got to this point or whatever, thanks. Just wanted to talk about my experience with this. I feel like I'm not doing a very good job of explaining, but whatever. It's a long video. Please interact if you want. I don't actually really give a fuck. Yeah, thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch this.